You've probably seen the headlines. A 22-year-old inherits millions, buys a mansion, quits their job, and suddenly becomes a viral sensation. Or maybe you've seen the TikToks showing luxury yachts, designer lifestyles, and the promise of total freedom, all thanks to inherited wealth. But here's the hook. The real truth about generational wealth isn't what you think. Most people only see the highlight reel. They never see what happens behind the scenes, the stress, the taxes, the legal battles, or how fast that money can disappear. So before you spend another minute daydreaming about inherited millions, let's break down what generational wealth really looks like and why your path to financial freedom could look very different. For a lot of people, inherited wealth feels like the ultimate cheat code. You imagine waking up one day and finding out your bank account is suddenly stacked. No more 9-to-5 grind. No more rent worries. Just freedom. And thanks to celebrity culture and viral social media stories, that fantasy looks more real than ever. When a famous actor leaves their kids a multi-million-dollar estate or a tech billionaire hands down a massive trust fund, it fuels a dream that's instantly relatable. The idea that life could change overnight without decades of effort. It's an attractive fantasy, the luxury homes, the travel, the effortless living. But behind all those glamorous images is a side of inherited wealth no one talks about publicly. A side that's less about comfort and more about responsibility. And that's where the truth begins to look very different from the dream. Because in 2025, receiving a large inheritance isn't just about receiving money. It's about navigating an entire system built around taking a piece of it. Taxes, legal fees, estate planning, and complicated asset transfers can reduce an inheritance long before the recipient ever touches it. Even if the estate tax exemption is high, it doesn't mean families walk away untouched. Add in probate, attorney fees, trust management costs, and disputes over valuations, and those millions often shrink quickly. And for many young inheritors, these responsibilities hit with no warning. Suddenly, they're expected to understand financial planning, tax law, investment strategy, and long-term management of wealth all at once. But financial complications are just one part of the burden. The psychological side hits even harder. Many heirs talk about guilt, feeling pressure to live up to their family name or manage money they didn't earn. Some experience identity crises, unsure whether their accomplishments are really theirs or just a byproduct of wealth. And then there's the family dynamic. Inheritances can bring out conflict, resentment, old rivalries, and even legal fights between siblings, cousins, or spouses. Sudden wealth doesn't always unite families. Often, it tears them apart. It's the part of the story people never post online, but it happens every year. And then comes the harshest truth of all. Inherited money disappears faster than almost anyone expects. Studies show that within just a few years, many large inheritances are gone entirely. Not because people are reckless, but because they've never had to manage wealth before. They overspend. They underestimate taxes. They make bad investments. They loan money to friends and family who never pay it back. And they unintentionally turn rich overnight into broke within a decade. It's the opposite of the American dream. Rags to riches, reverse.so if that's the reality. Then what is real generational wealth? Here's the twist. Generational wealth isn't about having a huge pile of cash. It's about building a foundation strong enough to last through more than one lifetime. That foundation has four parts: knowledge, networks, values, and opportunity. Cash is just a bonus. Families that stay wealthy for generations don't just hand down money. They hand down financial education. They teach budgeting, investing, entrepreneurship, and how to manage risk. They share networks, people who open doors, recommend opportunities, and teach what schools don't. They pass down values like discipline, long-term thinking, and patience. And above all, they pass down opportunities, the chance to learn, grow, build, and fail safely. That's why many long-lasting legacy families didn't start with millions. Some came from ordinary backgrounds: teachers, small business owners, immigrants, blue-collar workers. But they built habits and systems that allowed their children to go further than they did. Because money can be spent. Cars, houses, vacations, all of it fades. But skills, knowledge, and the mindset to build and protect wealth, that survives. And this brings us to the most important part of the story. Your future doesn't depend on inheriting anything. Real generational wealth, the kind that transforms families, can start with one person deciding to break old patterns and create new opportunities. If you didn't grow up wealthy, that doesn't make you behind. It simply means you get to be the first chapter of something new. And in 2025, building wealth from scratch is more possible than ever. With modern investing tools, online education, low-barrier entrepreneurship, and access to global markets, the average person today has opportunities that didn't exist decades ago. You can learn a high-income skill without college. You can start a business from your laptop. You can invest automatically with a phone app. You can build assets slowly and steadily, even if you're not starting with much. And that's how generational wealth really begins, with consistent habits, smart decisions, and long-term discipline. Maybe you invest a portion of your income every month. Maybe you build a side business that grows over time. Maybe you buy income-producing assets instead of lifestyle-draining purchases. Maybe you develop skills that raise your earning power year after year. These choices feel small today, but to your future family, they can be life-changing. Because generational wealth isn't a lottery ticket. It's a strategy that the next time you see someone online bragging about inherited millions, remember this: that money doesn't guarantee them freedom, success, or happiness. What you build on your own, even if it starts slowly, often lasts longer and grows stronger. And if you want to become the person who starts a legacy, the best time to begin is right now. If this video inspired you or changed how you think about wealth, make sure to subscribe, because we break down topics like this every day. And if you want more tools to start building your financial future, drop a comment below and tell us what topic you want next. Your journey toward generational wealth doesn't start with millions. It starts with knowledge. And you're already on your way.